That's us.
That's us. Yeah. All right, Shalom, Makim. First and foremost, before we begin, we want to give all the praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Harakakadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who taught us this word, this truth. Much love, greetings, and salutations to all you brothers throughout the four corners of the earth of the tabernacle of David that's out there pushing his word in sincerity and truth. All right? You know, we out here to defend the gospel, defend the truth, defend the doctrine. All right? There's no respect of persons. Right. Okay? We stand upon the truth. Okay? So, you know, basically, you know, you brothers, you see the title. This is a response to this guy, Deacon Shakyah. All right? You know, if you brother that's not familiar with him, he used to be down with the IUIC, you know, Nate's camp. And he was teaching in that camp, you know, for some years, man. You know, and
he was a top guy in Nate.
He was one of the top dudes in that school. You know what I mean? But you know, he over the years, you know, this guy basically he was perpetrating, man. All right, he knew the truth. Elder apostle, you know, taught him, you know, so on and so forth. And so now, you know, now that he's out of Nate's camp, you know, he kind of came to the realization that Nate, you know, was a demon. But now he's you know, he's puffed up with pride, and now he's coming against the doctrine that we were taught of the apostles and elders. You know, one of those doctrines being Yahawashi being King Solomon.
Right.
Now this has been addressed before. You know, many videos have been made on this topic, but this guy, you know, he decided to, you know, come back out of the woodworks, you know, and come on the comment boards. If you brothers was watching the Elder Apostles, you know, live on, you know, at camp today, you know, he came on the comment board and, you know, he was really trying to, you know, question the doctrine, still coming against the doctrine, even though we already didn't address the issue.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I just want to say, and it's you don't have to be from Great Millstone. It's all about having the proper doctrine of Yahawashi. Even though you understand that the guy that you was under, Nate, was a demon, and he ain't teaching the full truth, you still don't have the full truth, and you never humbled down yourself to come and get the full truth either. You don't want to acknowledge, you still have that inner something about you that can't humble down, that the apostles are the men that have the 100% truth.
All right, man.
And that's where the problem is at with you guys, man. Coming into this thing, you have to humble, man. You know, yeah, we wasn't in it back in the old school, back at One West. Maybe you were, whatever the case is for you. But that doesn't make these men any less. Because the fruit declares that the tree has been blessed. Not the fruit of how many numbers are in Great Millstone, but the wisdom that's displayed by them in the Great Millstone.
Like you said, it don't matter. The only number the Lord is looking for is 144,000. You know, it's more about quality than quantity. You know, and the Lord is looking for correctness. You know,
right. I have a quick scripture, bro.
Yeah.
Here at Great Millstone, this is this scripture. We stay on to this scripture. Okay, it's straight to the point. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 6, and having a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. When our obedience is fulfilled, you have to be ready to revenge all disobedience. Anything that comes across against the proper doctrine and proper understanding, we're on it. Like flies and shit, man, we're on it. Like wild on rice, I mean, you can keep using those, you know, analogies or whatever, but we gotta be on it. We can't let this slide. We are here to defend this gospel. So there's no excuse why you ain't got it.
We are sent for the defense of the gospel, man.
Right.
This is I got something real quick just to back you up. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse we'll start at 4. It says, you just read it. That's the spirit. That's the spirit. I can read. I just have to come right back behind you and just reiterate that. All right. 2 Corinthians 10, 4 for the way.
So let me say about the real quick. Because the point of it is that if you're not in that mind state of fulfilling this scripture, then you ain't a true man of the Lord. You have to have this mind state. Oh, you let's get along, Israelites hold hands, and it's okay. He don't get it. He ain't. No, man. We have to earnestly show them that where they err at and get them in the right way, because they're going to need all of this wisdom to get their salvation. And that's what our job is. We really care for our people because, well, for the elect, I should say, because we're trying to make sure that they have every ounce necessary to be able to understand this doctrine in 100% truth. All right, you got it.
Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Mashiach.
That's it. Bringing it into every thought into the captivity and the obedience of Yahawashi. That's what we have to do. You got it.
That's the real religion.
Right.
The pure religion. Right?
That's right.
To be under captivity under Yahawashi. We're slaves unto them.
What did Paul say? He said, I'm an ambassador in bonds. In bonds to what? To this, the truth of this doctrine, and fulfilling it and living it within his whole body and pushing out the doctrine properly.
Mm-hmm.
No?
Yep, so y'all was voting anything?
Okay, topic stuff. Okay, we get it now.
I got such a son.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna start off, because that's the base of the understanding dealing with King Solomon being Yahawashi. We got to go back to the beginning.
Yep.
When King David was getting ready to leave, you had Nathan the prophet who came to King David, and he basically spoke in the spirit of the Lord of what was going to befall his seed after him, and the things that he said concerning King Solomon, it actually foreshadowed Yahawashi.
Right.
Showing you that King Solomon was Yahawashi, all right, and that when Yahawashi was to come back, he's going to fulfill what was going to be bestowed upon King Solomon. Showing you that those were the same, spirit, man. Okay, so we're gonna get into it, man. All right, and it's we've done videos about it before. But this evidently the spirit wants us to go further in depth into it. The elder brothers in Dallas just went in depth in it. Okay, beautiful, man. That's the spirit. All right, so we're gonna get into it, man. You said you already got that in 2 Samuel. We can get right to it. You can start like around verse 11, maybe 10.
All right, I got it.
I want to bring out a little scripture before then.
Okay.
1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 32. And the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets.
Mm-hmm.
Solomon was a prophet.
Yeah.
Now, what does that mean?
Right.
What does that mean? All right. It means reincarnation. All right.
Yeah. Hey, Shakyah, do you believe in reincarnation? That's another question. Because people have all these questions for us, and we answer them. We send up a plethora of answers to your questions. We ask questions back to you scoffers and you doubters, you gainsayers.
We have to answer our own questions.
We always gotta. We not only do we answer we ask you questions that you don't answer. We turn around and answer the questions that we ask you. Because evidently, because I tell my kids this, man. I'm gonna be real with you. I tell my kids this. If you had an answer, it'd be running off your tongue. If you don't know, just shut your mouth and say I don't know, and then shut up and learn. Don't be up there. Man, just give me the damn answer. Hey, this dude Shakyah, when we was on the comment board, me and Elder Yashawamba, we was drilling this dude, man. We kept asking him the same questions over and over, and he would not answer. His response, his excuse was, "Oh, my computers keep freezing."
That came through clear though.
Right. it just happened to conveniently freeze when we asking you these questions, and apostles is answering your questions, and then all of a sudden, when you hear something, the computer will come back. It'll start working again.
When you're not answering.
When you ain't answering, and you hear what you don't want to hear, and you saying, "Oh, you're bearing false witness." That's bullshit, man. You was listening, you was hearing us, man. You was seeing the questions being posed, and you was hearing the apostles speaking, man.
Hey, humility. It's a power. There's a power in humility, man. That's the first and foremost heavy power is humility, man. That's the first sign that you can hold power by being humble. You got it.
That's a script real quick to go what you were saying about not having an answer. This is Sirach chapter 20, verse 6. Some man holdeth his tongue because he have not to answer, and some keepeth silence, knowing his time. A wise man will hold his tongue till he see opportunity, but a babbler and a fool will regard no time.
Oh, since you in Sirach, go from there to the third chapter.
Yeah.
Go to like the third chapter, around the 23rd verse.
This is Sirach chapter 3, verse 23. Be not curious in unnecessary matter.
No,
It's around here.
It's
I'm looking for it right now.
25.
Yeah, 20. I was gonna say 25.
Verse 25. Without eyes thou shalt want light. Profess not the knowledge, therefore, that thou hast not.
Jump from there to chapter 5, verse 12.
This is chapter 5, Sirach chapter 5, verse 12. If thou hast understanding, answer thy neighbor. If not, lay thy hand upon thy mouth.
That's plain.
Why you talking about stuff you don't know about?
That's plain, man.
It ain't that hard. And like I was saying about humility, that's one thing. And what you said, the one that you read, there's one that holdeth his tongue when he have not what to answer.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes humble down and be like, I'm not sure right now. If you have it, I'd like to.
I got another script right in
there.
This is Sirach chapter 32, verse 9. If thou be among great men, make not thyself equal with them.
That's the problem. That's the problem. When all these other guys from One West was at One West with the apostles at Great Millstone, they didn't feel like the apostles were on any great level. But now that they're the apostles, they were the elders, and now they're the apostles, and everybody got to keep up with a position. It ain't One West no more. The Spirit moved on to something else, and they kept growing through the Spirit of Yahawashi. Apparently you didn't. So don't sit there and be upset because these men have grown spiritually, and you're still in the same stagnant place. Now you still want to be equal with them, but you're not equal with these men anymore. You're beneath them, whether you were their elders before, and now you're not.
Shakyah was actually under. He admitted on the convoy board. He learned under Apostle Torah.
Right.
You learned under the apostle, man.
But he don't have the wisdom as the other apostles that may have been.
Why? Because he won't humble down.
Right.
You won't humble to your elders, man.
Yep.
The men who taught you. That's the whole key, man. If you don't humble down to the men who taught you, you're not going to get the wisdom.
You're not going to receive it.
You're not going to receive it. The Lord's going to make sure you don't get it, man. It says he resisteth the proud and giveth grace to the humble.
That's right.
All right. That's it. So let's get into it. Go to 2 Samuel. Start at verse 8. Start at 8.
2 Samuel chapter 7, verse 8. Now therefore, so shalt thou say unto my servant David, thus saith the Lord of hosts, I took thee from the sheepcote, from following the sheep, to be ruler over my people, over Israel. And I was with thee whithersoever thou wentest, and have cut off all thine enemies out of thy sight, and have made thee a great name, like unto the name of the great men that are in the earth. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and will plant them, that they may dwell in a place of their own, and move no more, neither shall the children of wickedness afflict them anymore.
Wait. Hold on. Who's this talking about? Because as we know, we moved after that. And the other nations afflicted us after Solomon. But he's directly talking about Solomon right there, isn't he? Right? Back in 2 Samuel. That's right. You gotta have your spiritual eyes open to see these things.
Yeah, he's talking. This is the Most High speaking through Prophet Nathan to King David,
right,
about what's basically what the Lord's will is concerning Israel, and what He's going to do with the kingdom after David basically dies. All right, and he's off his throne. He's going to raise up a seed unto his throne. Right. This is what He's going to do for Israel. Okay, so this was a prophet speaking to another prophet. Go ahead.
Start at the top of 10.
Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and will plant them that they may dwell in a place of their own, and move no more. Neither the children of wickedness afflict them anymore as before time. And since the time that I command judges to be over my people Israel, and have caused thee to rest from all thy enemies, also the Lord telleth thee that he will make thee an house.
He's gonna make them a house. Right? Go ahead. He's talking about the temple.
Oh.
Go ahead.
And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will set up thy seed after thee.
After you die, I'm gonna set up your seed after you. That's gonna what? That's gonna sit on your throne, right? Go ahead.
Which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom.
And I will establish his kingdoms.
Out of the same lineage.
All right. Who's the son of David? Who's the son of David? Of David.
This is Matthew 1, number 30.
1.
This is the book of the generation of Yahawashi.
I mean, it's just so. Come on, man.
You gotta be humble with the spiritual eye open, man. It ain't that difficult. You know this scripture, if none else. Go ahead, all right.
The book of the generation of Yahawashi, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac begat,
Wait, the son of who?
The son of David.
The son of David?
The son of Abraham.
The generation of Yahawashi, the
genealogy.
No,
it's the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
The generations, the genealogy.
I thought I said that word. That's how much it fits there. Right.
Yeah. Yahawashi has a genealogy.
Yeah.
We use the same argument to crush those that wicked ideology of the Catholic Church of the virgin birth.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Yahawashi came through that line.
The son of Abraham, the son of David. We're going to skip the Abraham part for now. That's another lesson for another day. Even though it could go on, that's what we don't want to. But the son of David. Who was the son of David? Okay?
You said you come back every 6 generations.
Every 3 or 4
slots.
Get Romans.
Yeah.
Get Romans real quick. Romans 1.
We gotta go back to
3. Now we're gonna use 2 Samuel 7 as the base.
Yeah.
All right.
This is Romans chapter 1, verse 3, concerning his son, Yahawashi HaMashiach, our Lord, which was made of the seed of David according to the flesh. All right, so basically that's what proceeded out of his bowels. All right. It says, which shall proceed out of thy bowels. This was Nathan telling that to King David, that he's going to set up a seed after him that's going to proceed out of his bowels, talking about his seed. Okay? His seed. He's the root and offspring of David, man. Okay? And it says, I will establish his kingdom. What kingdom?
It was already established. King David.
The kingdom was already there. King David set it up, already subjugated all the nations. It became peaceful. By the time King Solomon got on the throne, everything was cool for 40 years.
It's all set up. I can chill. The world ain't gonna trip because they know I'll send them armies out like my daddy did. Matter of fact, I'm chilling so much, I can start building a physical temple.
Yeah.
You know? And that's another, I got a little ahead of myself. That's another song. And you can know. I got it. And that was it on that?
That was it on that, Romans.
Can we go back?
Go back to Samuel.
Yeah, go back to Samuel.
All right, Samuel chapter 2, verse 7, and 2 Samuel chapter 7, verse 13. He shall build an house for my name, and will establish the throne of his kingdom forever.
Now. He shall build a house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. 40 years is not forever.
Thank you.
All right? 40 years is not forever. So Who is the Most High through Prophet Nathan? Who is he referring to? Let's get that in Daniel. Let's get that in Daniel 7. Because this kingdom, what the Lord is saying is, this kingdom is the throne of his kingdom is going to be established forever, meaning his rulership, his dominion. Okay, it'll never have an end. Daniel 7
And 9.
7 to like 13 maybe. 13. That's
It's Daniel 7 and 13, and including 14.
yeah.
It says, I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed.
Is it? Come on, man.
That's how.
That don't sound like 40 years.
That's not 40 years, man. So obviously, this is talking about King Solomon here. But it wasn't fulfilled when Solomon ruled for 40 years.
Right.
It is referring to Yahawashi's his kingdom when he's established in the earth. And you got to remember also, the kingdom starts with this knowledge.
That's right.
The wisdom. All right. And the wisdom is eternal. All right. So go back to
2 Samuel chapter 7 and 14. I will be his father, and he shall be my son.
Whoa, that's another key. I will be his father, and he shall be my son. All right. Now this is still talking about King Solomon here. All right. This is still talking about King Solomon, because if he said he's going to build a house. Go to 1 Chronicles 22 real quick.
Can I say this real quick? Because the spirit of Yahweh was speaking through Nathan the prophet to King David.
Yeah.
So how is he gonna say your son is gonna be my son? You see? Now who's the Most High God's son? I mean, come on now.
Fine.
He wasn't talking about Samuel, though he was referring to Samuel.
5 and 6.
Come.
This is First Chronicles 22 and 5. And David said, Solomon, my son, was young and tender, and the house that is to be builded for the Lord must be exceeding magnificent, of fame and of glory throughout all countries. I will therefore now make preparation for it. So David prepared abundantly before his death. Then he called for Solomon his son, and charged him to build an house for the Lord power Yahweh of Israel. And David said to Solomon, my son, as for me, it was in my mind to build an house unto the name of the Lord my power. But the word of the Lord came to me, saying that thou hast shed blood abundantly, and hast made great wars. Thou shalt not build a house unto my name, because thou hast shed much blood upon the earth in my sight.
That's why he couldn't build the temple. Because his hands was too bloody.
Yep.
So the Lord was going to have Solomon in his stead have the temple built. Okay. And what's crazy is well, not crazy, but notice how the Lord will have Solomon build the temple, and then when Yahawashi came back, the Lord said, "I'm going to build the temple. I'm going to raise it up in 3 days."
That's what I was preluding to earlier.
And they were thinking that he was
talking about building a temple like Solomon did.
Like a physical temple.
Yeah.
Right. But it was going to be spiritual temple, man. Okay. Go ahead.
Continuing. This is 9. Behold, a son shall be born to thee, who shall be a man of rest, and I will give him rest from all his enemies round about. For his name shall be Solomon, and I will give peace and quietness unto Israel in his days.
Yep.
He shall build a house for my name, and he shall be my son, and I will be his father, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom over Israel forever.
So that's, I mean, we just put precept upon precept. That's how you know that when you go back to 2 Samuel 7, that was clearly talking about King Solomon. All right. So let's go back. Let's go back to 2 Samuel.
2 Samuel chapter 7, verse 14. I will be his father, and he shall be my son. If he commit iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men, and with the stripes of the children of men.
Now this is where you get to draw all the clues at.
Yeah.
All right. This one left a lot of meat on there, man.
Yeah, I gotta kill it.
Now, the first thing he said was, I will be his father, and he shall be my son. Clearly, Yahawashi is the son of the Most High. Clearly. All right. And Yahawashi even made statements. He said, my father, my father. All right. My God, my God. He said that. Okay. I will be his father, and he shall be my son. When you go to the new, was that Matthew 17, where the sky opened up and that voice came out of the cloud that said, "This is my beloved son that I'm well pleased." That's fulfillment, man. Okay, so that's showing you what that's talking about. All right, go ahead, bro.
If he commit iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men, and with the stripes of the children of men.
Now, King Solomon, he committed iniquity, did he not? He committed idolatry. He followed those strange women. He married those, which King Solomon's his situation is kind of symbolic of the nation of Israel, because Israel, the main sin of Israel was sacrificing to idols, following after our lovers. Those women, those strange wives that he had, that was basically like the strange women that he went after. Those strange philosophies, man, them foreign gods, if you will. And he went off.
Same thing Israel did.
The same thing Israel did. That was his iniquity. All right. And after we was talking about this, after he did what he did, the Lord basically rent the kingdom from him, and Israel became more wicked. There was nothing but wicked kings that started rising up in Israel after King Solomon, man. And Israel started to get more and more into idolatry. So when Yahawashi came back on the scene, what did he do? He had to take responsibility.
Right.
He became that sacrifice, man. You got that in Hebrews?
Yep.
That's spirit.
Hebrews chapter 7, I'm gonna start up at 22. Yeah. It says, by so much was Yahawashi made a surety of a better testament. And they truly were many priests, because they were not suffered to continue by reason of death. But this man, because he continueth forever, hath an unchangeable priesthood.
Yep.
Wherefore he is able to also save them to the uttermost that come unto the Most High by him, seeing he ever liveth to make intercession for them. Clearly talking about Yahawashi. It says, for such an high priest became us, who is holy, harmless, undefiled, separate from sinners. Everybody else is a sinner but him. It says, even King Solomon, it says, and it's going to get to that, it says, and made higher than the heavens, who needed not daily, as those high priests, to offer up sacrifice. First for his own sin. Didn't it just say it was separate from sin, from sinners? Right? It says to offer up sacrifice first for his own sins, and then for the people's. For this he did once when he offered up himself.
Oh, so he actually took on the the job of a priest, which the job of a priest was to offer sacrifice for his own sin and then for the people. Well, guess what? Yahawashi, he took that same responsibility. He used his blood for the sacrifice, not only for his sins, but also for the sins of Israel. You know, he took on the punishment of Israel with that sacrifice. It tells you in Isaiah 53. All right, he was basically smitten. He was bruised for our iniquities, man. But guess what? His iniquity was our iniquity too. Okay.
How much better that he appeased or atoned for them both at once.
Man, he killed two birds with one stone.
Yeah. Our king is given to idolatry. The greatest king we ever had is given to idolatry. What? You know? I mean, the people was already in that direction, but then he went to it. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know? So how great was that an atonement for him to be beaten in the way he was for all the nation's sin and for his own? Which makes it fair.
Yeah.
It makes it balanced.
Yeah. And you finish that?
That was it.
Go from there to chapter 5.
Yep.
And I think it's like 2 or 3.
Oh yeah, Yahawashi didn't commit no sin.
He didn't commit no sin at all.
So he wasn't worthy of death.
Right.
So
that's what, as I said, it said, that's why I read up that high. It says separate from sinners, but then for his own, he atoned for his own sins. How are you going to be separate from sinners, but then you got to pay for your own sins? Reincarnation, when he did in the life before, which was Solomon's.
And that's why when we go back to 2 Samuel, you're going to see that it says, if he commit iniquity, which we just read, I will chasten him with the rod of men and with the stripes of the children of men. Yeah. Okay? And we're going to get the precept on that. You know the precept, Shakyah.
Yep.
You know, I still haven't seen you address that Isaiah 53. All right, go ahead, bro.
Hebrews chapter 5. I'm going to start at 1 after right here. It says, for every high priest taken from among men is ordained for men in things pertaining to the Most High God, that he may offer both gifts and sacrifices for sins, who can have compassion on the ignorant and on them that are out of the way, for that he himself also is compassed with infirmity. He also has weakness in him also, right? It says, by reason thereof he ought, as for the people, so also for himself to offer for sins. Yeah.
He offered for himself?
Yeah. He was without sin, no.
See, and you Christians and you other Israelites that don't have the spirit, you'll choke on this, man.
I gotta read the next verse.
You'll really choke on it. You think this is foolish. That's why it says in 1 Corinthians, the 2nd chapter, the natural man receiveth not the things of the spirit, man.
Right. That's why I read that up about separate from sinners, and they came down, you know. So you can see it's not taken out of context, jumping around. It's in the context of that whole chapter part right there.
Yes.
Yeah. I gotta read this one verse right here, verse 4. It says, and no man taketh this honor unto himself, but he that is called of the Most High, as was Aaron. So no one else could take that position, that high position right there.
That's the point. I mean, that whole thing goes, but that's the point.
I got some.
Go ahead, bro.
Speaking on idolatry, right? Exodus 20:5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate. See? So the Lord don't have to punish you, the life you're living right now, but He'll punish you, when you come back in the reincarnation about that previous sin you did.
Look at God. That's why the scripture in Job says, whoso perishes be an innocent. That's why babies will come back and die young, for the sins that they've done in their past life.
And I could just picture you you dudes in Israel, man. Y'all really think that this is way like over the top.
Yeah.
Y'all think y'all are choke on this, man.
A lot of these breakdowns a lot over a lot of their heads anyway, man.
Yeah.
Because they're not in the spirit.
They hyped up with
Spirit
being,
dealing with them.
oh, so we ain't Egyptians. Okay, I finally got around to that. But we was kings. We the Israelites. Yeah. The Lord is for us. Like, you know the basics, man. But you don't even have your foundation set to grow thereby with the milk and the word. You just barely tasting titty milk, man, and thinking, oh, this is beautiful and sweet. You ain't got to the bitter part of this thing and then grew from any of it yet.
Yeah, it goes into Ezekiel 37, man, when he said, you know, they come together with bones and seams, but they ain't got the breath.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
You gotta have that breath, man, that spirit, man.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got the breath of life, man. You ain't got nothing.
Because I mean, it's like
And you, Shakyah, you over the years you lost your breath, man.
Mm-hmm. You out of breath.
You out of breath, man. You know?
Yep.
You listen to that dude Nate, and that messed your head up.
And that spirit is still on you.
See, he ain't had a breath.
Right. He was with Nate.
Yeah, because you know, if he don't know the simple breakdown of the reincarnation, Solomon being Yahawashi,
Right. What else don't you know? That's reincarnation. I hate to say it like this, but it's true. Reincarnation explains a lot. Once you understand that process and the reason for that process, everything makes a lot more sense now. But if you don't have that, like, y'all ever notice y'all be breaking down something like, dang, I got to go into reincarnation now.
Yeah.
You know, because it's important for you to understand that process and why things happen this way, then to figure out other major things that happen and why through the spirit you can go back and look in the history to find out the prophecy.
Right. And before y'all, let me address this. Whoever this guy is on the comment board, Henry Turner, brother. You know, it's not necessary for you to. It's not wise for you to. If you're trying to get in contact with us, that's not the way you go about it, bro.
Right.
You don't put your number up on the internet and all that, man.
It's the worst place to put you.
You
don't get all types of things.
We out there downtown Vegas every Sunday, man. All right, just come out. You know where we at every Sunday between 2:00 and 5:30, man.
Yeah.
All right. So you ain't got to do that, bro. Matter of fact, I'm gonna delete your comment because this can definitely be recorded.
Yeah.
You know that's don't incriminate yourself, man.
It's the private. You got the private message open, right?
Yeah, all that's open.
Should be open.
You know?
Yeah, go to the private message, man.
Yeah. But I mean, you could just ask where we was at, man. You know, it's all good. You know,
just come to the camp, man.
The sincerity is there, man. It's all
just
good.
come out to the camp if you for real, man.
Yeah.
All
your questions will at least be answered.
Yeah.
If it ain't for you to just join the camp, we're gonna get to the skinny of that though, out there.
Okay. Let's go back into it.
It's 2 Samuel chapter 7, verse 15.
Read 14.
I will be his father, and he shall be my son. If he commit iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men, and with the stripes of the children of men.
And King Solomon, that did not happen to him. All right. He went to sleep with his fathers. He died a peaceful death. Okay. If you can remember when King Solomon was up in that was King David. I believe that was King David. Yeah, so that was King David. But it was 40 years of peace under Solomon.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't chastened at all at that time. So when did the chastisement begin on Solomon?
Right.
When did that ever occur with King Solomon? All right. Get Isaiah 53. Because we know who got chastened. We know who got beat with stripes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Get Isaiah 53.
I'm sorry, what? Oh, not. 3 or top.
You could start at the top.
This is Isaiah 53 at the top. Who hath believed our report, and to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. He hath no form, no comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him.
Yep.
He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows.
You know who this is talking about. Yahawashi was despised and rejected of men. All right? He wasn't a beautiful guy, man. He wasn't a guy that you just, everybody likes him and get along with him and to come and get free hugs from him. He wasn't, he was about his father's business, man. He was an austere man. Right? That's what they didn't like about him, man. Because he was bold in the spirit of his father, man. This guy is one who has authority. That's what they were saying about him.
They didn't like the fact. Wait, who is you?
Yeah.
You ain't the chief priest. Why you coming in talking like you know everything?
Isn't this the son of
Joseph? This Joseph's son? Who is this guy?
Yeah. Go ahead.
He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows, and acquainted with griefs like it.
Yep.
And we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not.
Yep.
Surely hath he borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of Yahweh, and afflicted.
Go back to 2 Samuel.
2 Samuel, chapter 7. I'm gonna start where it says in the middle. If he commit iniquity, he will be chastened with the rod of men and with the stripes of the children of men.
Go back to that in Isaiah 53.
Isaiah 53 and 4. Surely he hath borne our griefs and carried our sorrows.
What are those griefs? The sins of the nation of Israel. Okay? To say it plainly for you. Go ahead.
Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of the Most High, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed.
And with his stripes we are healed.
Those many stripes. It's talking about in 2 Samuel 7. Talking about Yahawashi.
Come on, man. He wasn't esteemed among men. Basically, he wasn't received from Israel. All right. It tells you that in John, man.
The scoffers are saying this guy is saying he's the son of God.
Yep.
That's how you knew Isaiah understood Psalm 22. Yep. 2 Samuel.
Yep.
They understand reincarnation, man.
They knew about reincarnation when they asked, "Who is this? Is this
John?
Is this John?
Elijah?
Elijah? Yeah.
Yep. This is John 1 and 10. He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. He came unto his own, and his own received him not. Come on, man. So clearly, Isaiah was prophesying of Yahawashi, but this happens to fulfill what Nathan said concerning King David's seed. What would happen to his seed? But that didn't happen to King Solomon. But it happened to Yahawashi. So that would have to mean what? Yahawashi was King Solomon. All right? I mean, we could keep going, man.
Now, here's, you should know better than this, but here's the problem with a lot of you, and Nate was on this, so a lot of you other groups had a problem with all faith-based. Y'all talking about y'all faith-based. You gotta have faith to believe it in the seed.
You say like that's a problem.
Yeah, it is faith-based.
It says your faith in your works, right? Yeah, faith is a huge part of it. To not see but still believe. If without faith, you gotta take away all Hebrews 11. You gotta take away all the accounts of the men of the Lord standing boldly from faith.
Not with works, but faith.
God.
I got one more.
Psalms 89.
Yes, I'm coming.
Psalms 89, and we start at Starting at like 20.
The Psalms 89 and 20. I have found David, my servant, with my holy oil. I have anointed him, with whom my hand shall be established. My arm also shall strengthen him.
Yep.
The enemy shall not exact upon him, nor the son of wickedness afflict him.
Go ahead.
And I will beat down his foes before his face and plague them that hate him. But my faithfulness and my mercy shall be with him, and in my name shall his horn be exalted.
Stop there. Now go back to 2 Samuel. Let's finish that up. Verse 15.
2 Samuel chapter 7, verse 15. But my mercy shall not depart away from him.
Still talking about Solomon. Go ahead.
As I took it from Saul, whom I put away before thee.
So notice how when the Lord said when he goes off, when he commit iniquity, I'm gonna chastise him. I'm gonna he's gonna be beat with the stripes of men, but yet I'm gonna have mercy on them. But it's gonna be that forgiveness that I didn't give Saul.
Can I say this real quick? When you understand what actually happened, Yahawashi didn't really get mercy. He actually got beat to death. Let's remember that part. He died from that beating. Okay? But then he came back and got the victory over death. That's what the part that gets muddled out when you talk about these Christians. He actually got beat to death. Okay? Let's remember that important part. He got beat to death for Israel's sins and his own sins. Okay? The sins of Solomon. Because Solomon didn't die from getting the stripes of men. All right? From the sins that he committed.
But ultimately, he ended up getting the mercy.
Right.
Because the things that was bestowed upon him, the Lord wasn't, he never went back on his word.
Right.
These things that he got the prophet Nathan telling King David, this was basically something that it was set in stone. Okay? That when your son goes off, he's gonna get it, but he's not gonna get it as Solomon. That's basically what he's saying. He's not gonna receive the judgment as Solomon. I'm gonna get him in the other life. And King David, he prophesied of that life.
Yeah.
Psalms 22.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it says, but mercy shall not depart from him, away from him, as I took it from Saul, but I will put it away before thee. You talking about the sure mercies of David. Get Acts the 2nd chapter, and you still stay in Psalm 89. Get Acts the 2nd chapter real quick. And guess what? That same mercy, it trickles down to his elect. The elect is going to have the sure mercies of David too. All right? He's going to forgive them as well. Second, Acts 2 and around 38, 39, 38. The
29.
Yeah.
Starting 29.
Then you can start there.
All right, Acts chapter 2, verse 29. Men and brethren, let me freely speak unto you of the patriarch David, that he is both dead and buried, and his sepulchre is with us unto this day. Therefore, being a prophet, that's facts. Okay, point that out to me. Yeah. Therefore, being a prophet, and knowing that the Most High has sworn with the oath to him, that of the fruit of his loins, according to the flesh, he will raise up Yahawashi to sit.
Oh man!
What?
Whoa!
What?
Whoa!
What did that say?
Because that was the promise that he made to King David through Nathan. Going back to say, that's why we keep in 2 Samuel 7 as the foundation. We could read all these precepts and go right back to that. This is where he began to make that oath to King David, man, concerning Yahawashi when he was King Solomon.
We know the Most High keeps his word. That's why we're going to that. And then when you play out how it actually happened, you see exactly what the Most High said was going to happen. Is what happened.
Yep.
That was Peter.
Read that,
Verse 30. Therefore, being a prophet, and knowing that the Most High Yahweh has sworn with an oath to him that of the fruit of his loins, according to the flesh, he will raise up Yahawashi to sit on his throne. He, seeing this before, spake of the resurrection of Yahawashi, that his soul is not left in hell, neither his flesh is in corruption. This Yahawashi hath the Most High raised up, wherefore we all are witnesses. Therefore, being by the right hand of the Most High exalted, and having received of the Father the promise of the Holy Ghost, he hath shed forth this which ye now see and hear. For David is not ascended into the heavens, but he said himself, the Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou on my right hand until I make thy foes thy footstool. Therefore, let all the house of Israel know assuredly that the Most High hath made that same Yahawashi, whom ye have crucified, both Lord and Mashiach, anointed.
Go from there to Acts 13 now. 13 and start at 34.
Acts chapter 13, verse 34. And as concerning that he raised up him from the dead, now no more to return to corruption, he said on this wise, I will give you the sure mercies of David. Wherefore he said also wherefore he said also in another psalm, thou shalt not suffer thy holy one to see corruption.
All right, so basically he raised Yahawashi up. He didn't suffer Yahawashi to decay in the sepulchre, man. All right, and when he
because after 3 days is when that process.
That's when it happens.
The mortar sets fully and all that.
But the Lord raised him up in glory.
Yep.
All right, and after his death, all type of glorious fulfillments occurred. Okay, he after he came back, he was glorified. After that, all right, now Israel, your sins were remitted. He shed the blood for the remissions of the sins of Israel. He took on basically the iniquity. He gave us a clean slate. Okay, and that mercy that was bestowed upon Yahawashi, it was bestowed upon Israel starting with the elect. That's the sure mercies of David, man. Okay, and he promised that going back to King David, man. That was an oath. Go back to Psalms 89. Psalms 89, I think you left off at 24. That's what you left off.
Psalms 89, verse 24. But my faithfulness and my mercy shall be with him, and in my name shall his horn be exalted. And I will set his hand also in the sea, and his right hand in the rivers. And he shall cry unto me, and thou art my Father, my power, and the rock of my salvation.
Wait, who was going to cry that? Who's going to say that? Yahawashi?
Yep.
Prove that. Somebody get John 20. John 20 and I think 17.
John 20 and 17. Yahawashi said unto her, touch me not, for I am not yet ascended to my Father, but go to my brethren and say unto them, I ascended unto my Father and your Father, and to my power and your God.
Read that again.
Yahawashi said unto her, touch me not, for I am not ascended to my Father, but go to my brethren and say unto them, I ascend unto my father and your father, and to my God and to your God.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, my father, your father, my God, your God. Yahawashi came saying that. And when he was getting ready to get crucified, or when Shakyah, when he was on the crucifix, what did he say? Father, Father,
Abba.
Abba, Abba. All right. That's it. Go back to Psalms 89. You got something? Go ahead.
Psalm chapter 22, verse 1, and I'm going to jump down to 16.
Okay.
My power, why hast thou forsaken me? Why art thou so far from helping me, and from the words of my roaring? And that's reiterated Mark 15 and 34. All right.
Yep.
Verse 16, for dogs have compassed me, the assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. Like they pierced my hands and my feet. All right. So who's that talking about? It's talking about Yahawashi. And that's the Psalm of David.
Yep.
All right.
I got some. I'm glad you can wait, but it needs to come out though.
It goes right now.
No, you can wait.
All right. Go back to Psalms 89.
Psalms 89 and 27. Also, I will make my firstborn higher than the kings of the earth. My mercy will I keep.
The first begotten.
Mm-hmm.
All right. He's the King of Kings, right? That's who is that describing right now? Read that again.
Also, I will make my firstborn higher than the kings of the earth.
King of Kings, man.
Yahawashi was first spirit created.
Yep.
Firstborn.
Yep.
My mercy will I keep for my mercy will I keep for him forevermore.
Like it says in 2 Samuel 7:15, but my mercy shall not depart away from him.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
And my covenant shall stand fast with him.
Mm-hmm.
His seed also will I make to endure forever, and his throne as the days of heaven.
Yep.
If his children forsake my law and walk not in my judgments, if they break my statutes and keep not my commandments, then I will visit their transgressions with the rod and their iniquity with stripes.
Yep.
Woo!
Come on, man.
Who that?
Who that is? Who that is, man? I mean, these are all precepts, man. You got to link it all together, man. But the spirit got to be on you to put it together, man.
See it.
You know.
I got one right quick.
Good.
Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6 says, for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty Power, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Who's the Prince of Peace? Well, his name meant peace. Solomon means peace. By the way, it says, of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth even forever. The zeal of the Lord Yahweh of hosts will perform this. And he performed it with Yahawashi, not with Solomon.
Yep. Go back to Psalms 89.
Verse 33. Nevertheless, my loving kindness will not utterly take from, I will not utterly take from him, nor suffer my faithfulness to fail.
Going back, but my mercy shall not depart away from him, as I took it from Saul, whom I put away before thee. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 34, my covenant will not break, nor alter the things that is gone out of my lips. Once I have sworn by my holiness, I will not lie unto David.
Come. And he's talking about this oath right here, man. Okay.
That's what you say. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise.
He's not a man that he should lie.
All
right. So, that's it on that. You had something? Anybody had something? Okay. If somebody can, Baruch Shah, let me see if I can find it, because this was a question that he kept running from that I was asking him. Elder Yashawamba kept asking him about Psalm 72. That whole chapter, it was a song for Solomon, but if you read that whole chapter, it's clearly talking about Yahawashi. Clearly. And this was a question that I had for him. The question was, when you get it, matter of fact, let me try to find it real quick. So basically, when Nathan gave Solomon a name, all right. Let me see if I could look that up. It's 2 Samuel 12:25.
I got it.
If you want to start up a verse or two, you can.
Right now. Yeah. I was just looking at this. Let me see.
Yeah, you can start 24.
Yep. Because
this was after King David committed adultery.
Right.
With Bathsheba.
And they had a son,
and he passed.
Yeah.
The Most High, took his seed. But then there was another seed that came after.
Right.
This was the appointed seed. This was the chosen seed right here.
Right. Well, I didn't want to have to read all that. 2 Samuel 12:24. It says, and David comforted Bathsheba, his wife, after they miscarried, whatever you want to call that, and went into her and lay with her, and she bare a son, and he called his name Solomon.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord Yahweh loved him.
Mm.
And he sent by the hand of Nathan the prophet, and he called his name Jedediah because of the Lord.
So the Lord basically commanded Nathan to call him Jedediah, which I believe in the Hebrew. Let me get that. Beloved of Yahweh.
Yes.
All right, it's Yadadiah, which means
beloved of the Lord.
Because that's how you say, it's kind of like how you say King David's name, Dawadah or Dawayah. It's similar, which means the same thing, beloved, because that's what King David means, Malat, Dawadah or Dawayah, which means, King, beloved of the Most High, right? And when you look up the meaning,
beloved, beloved. But Yadadiah, he is beloved
of the Most High.
It's the whole Yah is beloved of,
It says in the definition in the Strong's, Jedediah, beloved of Yahweh, the name given to Solomon through Nathan the prophet.
Yep.
All right. And also when you read down here the Chaldee lexicon, the delight of Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what scriptures indicates Yahweh? It's second Peter 1:17. Yeah, you don't grab that.
Y'all not doing this over there at the mother schools outside of Great Millstone? Nobody in your camp?
2 Peter chapter 1,
Shakyah,
verse 17. For he received from the Most High the Father honor and glory when there came such a voice to him from the excellent glory, this is my beloved Son, who I am well pleased.
This is my beloved Son.
Beloved Son.
Who I am well pleased. What does please mean?
Delight. I'm sure it's a synonym if you look it up.
You want to look it up?
Yeah,
we shouldn't have to.
I know, but
Wait,
you know. We don't run from work here at Great Millstone.
we always talk. Hey, Apostle Bar always stresses about it's about looking up words and knowing the meaning of words and that thing. Man. That's being diligent. You know, our stock and trade is in the meaning of words.
There's philosophers, man. Love or wisdom.
Yeah. So basically, Jedediah.
Pleasures want to please.
Please.
Please someone greatly.
This is the definition of delight.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, that's what Jedediah means. So he's given the name that's actually ascribed to the way the Most High feel about Yahawashi.
Yeah.
I mean,
know he put it on Solomon.
Yeah.
Through the prophet Nathan.
How is it that Solomon have all these titles, you know, all these prophecies concerning him, but it's attached to Yahawashi? If he's not Yahawashi, then why is what's I mean, the association is so strong. Yeah. There's too many clues.
Yeah. And then when you understand reincarnation,
I mean,
that spirit of Solomon had to come back as somebody.
If you can't see it, man, then yes, the Lord really, he clearly put that blindfold.
No light in you.
Not part of the elect.
Come.
That fool even said that. Well, maybe I might not make it or something.
Yeah, he did say that.
Man.
No, we can do it.
Hey, you know, like an elder apostle Ramlock hit him with the cutter. He read that in Sirach 14.
Yeah.
You put one on there. Blesses the man that have not fallen from his hope.
God,
It blesses the man whose guilty conscience have not condemned him.
that's the one you put up there, huh?
Yeah.
No, that was apostle.
Oh, Apostle. Okay, you did put one up there and cut his ass too.
Yeah, man. Because he's a teacher, you know, he's been out there for all these years teaching, but yet you a double-minded man. Your faith is staggering.
What kind of example you said?
You know, you was under Nate, you knew what he was doing was wrong, but you was clearly still under him. You know, so you was one of those guys who was a good teacher. You was a wise teacher and instructed many, but you was unprofitable to yourself.
Can I say this to him directly, right quick? Basically, right now is your second opportunity to humble down in the spirit. This is a warning from Yahawashi to humble all the way down, or you're gonna be prophesied that maybe you're not a man and don't deserve salvation. For real, this is another opportunity for you to have to humble down and get the wisdom. And we're you know, we talk shit when you don't get it right, but when you humble down, we humble right with you.
Yep.
You know, that's the thing that you got that you never say about Great Millstone, but it's so true about Great Millstone. The more you push out that pride, we humble you with the word. And when you have about you humble, but when you humble, and we have no problem, we don't exalt ourselves over you. We only do that humble people that that can't humble themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the brother put the description on the comment board. Yaakov ban Yasharallah, Matthew 3:16, and Yahawashi, when he was baptized, went up straightway out of the water, and lo, the heavens were opened unto him, and he saw the Spirit of the Most High ascending like a dove, and lightning upon him, and lo, a voice from heaven saying, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased."
Yeah.
All right.
And the light shone, and I think if you read on, it says that the light shone upon him, and all of it.
Yeah.
Now he was special.
I mean, just looking up simple words, man. The omen omens, that the Lord actually had placed upon certain men. It meant something. It was spectacular, man. It was significant. The fact that he actually was called by the prophet Nathan Jedediah, he was naming King Solomon that because that was Yahawashi. That's why he named. That's why the Lord sent the Spirit on him to name him that.
Like that's also when the Spirit of the Lord called him Emmanuel. I'm not Yahawashi. How you say I'm not Yahawashi? That wasn't his name, but that was a title given to him.
Power with us. God with us.
Exactly. The Most High with us.
Yeah.
That wasn't his physical or proper name, but that was a title given to him, just like this is.
Yeah.
But who else was that power with us, or the Most High God with us, that's only Yahawashi that could be that. So you gotta go into these other words, man. The meaning of the words.
Man.
What's another topic? Prince of Peace.
Yeah.
Prince of Peace.
That's solid.
Shalom.
Yeah.
So salam, or I forgot how they said it. It's another way to say it. I can read it though. I looked it up earlier. We looked it up again.
That's another thing.
Shalom means peace.
To add on to that definition, because it said that it also means not only just beloved, but delight of Yahweh. When you read, somebody get Proverbs 8 real quick. Proverbs the 8th chapter. Now, King Solomon, it's crazy because it seemed like King Solomon was prophesying about himself, which really, King Solomon being Yahawashi, he was prophesying of himself when he was before the foundation of the world. Because King Solomon, he was the wisest king that lived. The wisdom rested upon King Solomon. What created the heavens and the earth? The wisdom. The word of the Most High was what created the heavens and the earth. Yahawashi is the word. Let's get that. Proverbs 8. Let's start around, no, not at the top. This is further down. Go to Proverbs
20.
Yeah. No. Start at 22.
This proverb.
And this is talking about wisdom, but it's twofold.
Yep.
It's talking about wisdom, but it's also talking about Yahawashi, and we got the precepts to back that up. All right.
This Proverbs 8:22. The Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way, before his works of old.
Stop there. Go from there to Luke. Was it Luke? Yeah. No. John the 5th chapter. It said he possessed me in the beginning. Who was in the beginning?
You gotta ask these questions.
Who's the alpha? Who was the alpha and the omega?
Oh man.
Let's get that, man. John 5 and No, Shakyah. John 17 chapter, Shakyah. John 17. John 17 and 5. Start at 4.
Yeah. John chapter 17, verse 3. And this is life eternal, that they might know thee, the only true power, and Yahawashi Mashiach, whom thou hast sent. I have glorified thee on the earth. I have finished the work which thou gavest me to do. This is Yahawashi red letter, by the way. It says, and now, O Father, glorify thou me with thine own self, with the glory which thou had for me before the world was.
Come on.
Go back to Proverbs.
Come on.
Proverbs.
Proverbs 8:22. The Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way, before his works of old. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was.
Come on, man. You know who this is talking about.
I got to read something. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7:1.
Go ahead.
I myself also am a mortal man, like all, and the offspring of him that was first made of the earth. Meaning,
I got one.
I got what too.
Is that Revelation 1:8. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is and which was and which is to come, the Almighty. That's y'all start talking.
Okay, I think this one.
I guess I'm not sure.
Yeah. Let me see. Let me make sure it's not. Yeah. First John. First John. This is John chapter 1. Verse. Verse 9 says, "And there was true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. He came unto his own, and his own received him not. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of the Most High God, even to them that believe on his name, which were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of the Most High God. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory of the only begotten Father, full of grace and truth." Shall I read that verse one more time?
Yeah.
Verse 14, it says, "And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth." It's talking about Yahawashi, man.
Yahawashi was the wisdom, man. He was the wisdom, the spoken word of the Most High that created everything that you see and don't see.
Okay. It was the truth of what this life is supposed to be about.
That's true. It was one. It's also one in I think Sirach, man. That was it pretty much tells you how the Lord basically spoke the word and everything was just was made, man.
I appreciate it.
Got it.
Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6 and 7. "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty Power, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace."
Like when you read through the Gospels, these are the things. A lot of those were the things that the people said about Yahawashi as he went through healing and dropping wisdom on folks, man. You know, you got
the Prince of Peace, of the increase.
Prince of Peace. We know that is well, King of Peace, Malak Tazadak. Well, that's going deep. I mean, Malak Malak Shalom, which is Solomon. You know, King Solomon. Okay.
Of the increase of his government. So who's the government? The 144,000.
Right.
And peace there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom to order it, and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this.
Right.
Yeah. So somebody go back to Proverbs 8.
Back in Proverbs 8 and 22. "The Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way, before his works of old. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning or ever the earth was. When there were no depths, I was brought forth. When there were no fountains abounding with water, before the mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought forth. While as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the world. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he set a compass upon the face of the depth. When he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the fountains of the deep. When he gave to the sea his decree, that the waters should not pass his commandment. When he appointed the foundations of the earth, then I was by him, as one brought up with him. And I was daily his delight."
Y'all brothers catch that?
"And I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him."
Man, that's that. I mean, this is talking about Yahawashi, man. Okay, he's basically telling you, I was there. When my father gave the blueprint for this to be done, I was there.
Yeah.
That's why when you go to Genesis 1:1 and it talks about the powers, Yahawashi was present. He was the first of the powers, man. He was chief of the powers.
Yeah.
That's why when you go to Colossians, the first chapter, the 15th verse, somebody can get that. All right.
I got it. Colossians chapter 1 verse 15. Who is the image of the invisible power, the firstborn of every creature? For by him were all things created, that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him. And he is before all things, and by him all things consist.
And the Most High created him, and he was the first spirit created. In this chapter, Proverbs 8 just showed you that. All right, the Lord made him from the beginning, before everything was put together, and when he brought Yahawashi, he chose him to be his son, the first begotten, and then he had him create the other spirits, the Alahayim, and he picked and chose the elect, the first fruits, and this thing goes deep, man.
If you don't know reincarnation, you're never gonna get a lot of this deeper wisdom, man.
It's deep, man.
And the first fruits created the earth.
Yeah.
Yahawashi did create the earth.
Heaven, man.
I didn't even think we was gonna say
like the elect,
And other nations,
which is 144,000. I mean, when it goes that, but it's that heavy though.
And we going into all this just by looking up a name.
Yeah.
All we looked up was the name that Nathan gave King Solomon.
Right.
And look what we're able to go into, man.
That's what I was saying. You other camps don't do that. y'all don't do
They're
that.
at the schools and all the resources, but don't do it.
So when you was right there when Nate talked about building the school, was he still there? I think he was still there when they was saying that. Either way, when he said that, you was slowing down.
I don't think so. I think he was going by
He's
there.
going right there when they said that. He good. But the point being, who's gonna be in that school, man? If y'all don't know this, Nate didn't teach you that stuff.
I mean, King Solomon is saying, I was his delight in the beginning. Nathan calls him delight of Yahweh.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't, it ain't for you, man. You ain't gonna see it. It's not gonna get through you, man.
And there's plenty more.
There's so many scriptures. I mean, we can go all night.
This chapter. Can I read this chapter?
Come.
Hebrews chapter 1. I'm gonna start verse.
And don't think that we proud.
Nah, man.
This ain't pride or nothing like that, man. We're passionate about this thing.
And honestly, the laughter is we're rejoicing at the fact that Yahweh has opened our eyes.
Open this up, Connor. Lord, Yahawashi.
We would wish that the elect, that you would, if you're of the elect, that you receive it too. But only the elect is going to receive it. Lord, hopefully you are. If you're not, then you're not going to see it. And that goes to anybody out there. Okay? And,
like the elder apostle Tahar said, man, you might need to just fast, man.
Real.
Just fast, man.
Sincerity, man. Real.
All right? Because you got demons on you, bro.
Okay, fast.
Repent, man. All right, you repented that you followed Nate. That's you can repent from that.
We're not.
All right, we ain't knocking you, man. Like you still Israel. You still pushing Israel.
Yeah.
And it ain't no beef. It ain't no controversy. It ain't personal. But we do this with everybody. We do this with even guys in Great News Store. We do that with, man. All right, we gotta defend the gospel, man. We gotta protect what's precious in the sight of the Lord, man.
Iron sharpening iron, man. Iron sharper than you. We gotta touch you up till you get sharp.
Come on, man.
Hebrews 1:1, it says, the most God, I'll read it by random right there. God, who has sundry times and in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets. hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds, who being the brightness of his glory and the express image of his person, and upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins, sat down on the right hand of the majesty on high, being made so much better than the angels, as he had by inheritance obtained a more excellent name than they. For unto which of the angels said he at any time, Thou art my son, this day I have begotten thee. And again, I will be to him a father, and he shall be to me a son. And again, when he bringeth in the first begotten unto the world, he said, and let all the angels of the Most High worship him. And of the angels he said, who maketh his angels spirits, and his ministers a flame of fire. But unto the Son he said, Thy throne, O power, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is in the scepter of thy kingdom. Thou hast loved righteousness and hated iniquity. Therefore power, even thy power, hath anointed thee with the oil of gladness above thy fellows. And thou, Lord, in the beginning hast laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the works of thine hands. They shall perish, but thou remainest, and they shall wax old as do a garment. And as a vesture shall thou fold them, and they shall be changed. But thou art the same, and thy years shall not fail.
All talking about the Lord, man.
Right. But to which of the angels said he at any time, Sit on my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool? They are not all ministering spirits.
Oh, and King David said that about Solomon.
Yeah.
Why would he say that? The Lord said unto my Lord, Sit down on my right hand till I make thy enemies thy footstool.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he things that are meant for Yahawashi? Why is he saying it to another man?
Yep.
They're not the same man. Go ahead, bro.
Psalm 110 and 1 right there.
John.
Says, reading on, it says, are they not all ministering spirits? Talking about the angels and Yahawashi, right? It says, sent forth to minister for them who shall be heirs of salvation. That was the whole chapter right there. But I mean, like, you jump to 2 and 5 like this. Just reading, you should be able to pick this up just reading.
You should be able to identify
Yeah.
who the main
Just reading, bro, without the precept jumping around, just reading, you should be able to get it without jumping around as we did to pick up the precepts. Reading this book alone, reading the book of Hebrews alone, you should be able to pick up on it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read more. I mean,
y'all got anything else? I mean, we didn't like at least 100 scriptures that came out.
yeah.
All right, like if you can't see it, then it's not meant for you to get it, man. You know, and you know you're gonna be the hot topic, like the Apostle Tar said, you're gonna be the hot topic of the week.
Yeah.
Our brother's gonna go in. Okay, you're gonna try to make your little videos and bring your point. You know,
Let's humble down, man.
Yeah,
you see, fast as the advice was given. You know,
yeah.
we rejoiced when you left Nate, honestly. But you didn't. We was hoping that you would come out that you had a similar or the same doctrine. You know, you was upgrading your doctrine like that at Great Millstone, or or that of Yahawashi. But here we go. Something as simple as this.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's you was over? All right, well, that's we beat a dead horse at this point. So we're gonna wrap it up. All right. Hopefully this was edifying. Shalom, one brother thumb to you brothers that tuned in. All right. You know, and
Came
keep,
to that brother, to the brother that was on the comments board out here in Vegas.
yeah.
We'll be out there tomorrow, Lord willing.
On Main Street.
Main Street,
Main Street.
right there.
Yeah.
Yep. You're right there. On the plaza, between Plaza and Main Street.
Fremont. Right by Fremont Street.
Yep. So.
You know, so with that, you know, we're gonna wrap up. We're gonna close. We're gonna give all praises to Yahweh. We'll say double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the tabernacle of David. Shalom.